Welcome to the Not So Christian and Me show. I'm your host, Southern Girl Denise, and today we have another great show. Now, many of you, such as myself, may haven't thought about. Um, okay, let's start over. Welcome to the Not So Christian and Me show. I'm your host, Southern Girl Denise, and today we have another great show. Now, many of you, like myself, may didn't know about a May election, and so today's special guest is going to talk about all about the election that's coming up in May. So without further ado, please help me welcome Beverly Armstrong for judge for the 208 Harris County Criminal District Court. Thank you so much, Ms. Beverly, for being our special guest.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you so much. So for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your goals, your aspirations, and just fill it all out on the Not So Christian and Me show.
I will.
Just feel like at home. Feel like you're at home.
I will. Well, thank you. Well, I am originally from Beaumont, Texas.
Okay.
That's where I grew up and had two very loving, hardworking parents.
Okay.
And your values, your morals, and things of that start at home.
Right.
That's where we learn them.
That's
So
true.
what I learned just growing up there is hard work.
Mhm.
It's what gets you where you need to go. Nothing's going to be given to you.
Hmm.
You have to work hard for what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
And so with that basis, I did that. My parents encouraged me to work hard, to study hard. I attended Prairie View A&M University.
Okay, PV, y'all. PV.
Go Panthers. Graduated with a degree in civil engineering.
Okay.
So again, thinking outside the box, doing something that's not so common. It's commonly male-dominated
That's
field,
true.
but not being scared. And one of the great things about a PV and HBCUs is they encourage you. There's no giving up. There's
Good.
no, oh, it's hard, I can't do it. Someone is there in your corner saying,
Mhm.
you can do this. You just have to work hard. You just have to study hard. So again, building character.
Yeah.
Building character all the way. So that was an awesome experience. While I was at PV, I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority
Okay,
Incorporated.
okay.
And actually, for those that don't know it, this week is Greek weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
kudos to all of my brothers and sisters in the Divine Nine.
Okay.
And one of the things I learned from that is community service,
Yeah.
community outreach. Our fraternities and sororities serve the community.
Yeah.
It can be a lifelong commitment. And that's kind of how ours differ a little bit.
Yeah.
So from that, you learn the value of giving back, learn the value of being a part of a community, of educating a community like we're doing today.
Right.
And so all of those entities have really made me the person that I am today.
Right.
So I left Prairie View and did a little bit in civil engineering and decided to go to law school. I attended South Texas College of Law here in Houston. I was actually in their night program because I worked full time. So again, hardworking, working full time. That is what I needed to do to reach the accomplishment or to reach my goal.
Yeah.
Okay. And so since then, I've been practicing law for 25 years.
Okay.
I started off, had a private practice for a while doing probate, bankruptcy, still very much involved with families. That appeared to be my calling early on.
Yeah.
And then I had an opportunity to join the assistant district attorney's office in Polk County. And that was when I got into criminal law. And I've been working in the criminal law area now for 16 years.
Oh, wow.
So quite a bit of experience with that. But all of that, every step of the way, I've learned that, people are always watching you. So you need to carry yourself appropriately.
Yeah.
You need to walk the walk, talk the talk, and then always have God in what you're doing, and work hard.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let's go to the foundation, with your family and stuff. How have they impacted you to become, the awesome lady of God that you are now? How have they instilled in you throughout the years?
Well, it's been consistent. My parents both worked. My dad worked multiple jobs to help us, move and get elevated. Like most people growing up back then, you live in the projects or whatever, but your parents work hard to get you out of it. And you see that and you appreciate that as you get older.
Yeah,
When you're little, you don't pay attention.
Yeah, that's true.
But as you get older,
true.
you appreciate that, and so you know that that's how you move forward. So, and even just encouraging to go to college, because it wasn't a question. I didn't have an option. I was going.
There's no option.
No option. You're
Yeah.
going. But what you wanted to do, the world it wasn't where you have to do this because that's what everybody's doing, or you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so so again, that's encouraging to know that, and they're behind me 100%. And even when I decided to go to law school, the same thing. And really, my parents would have or wanted to pay for that, but I have a younger sister who was starting school, and so I felt like, it was her turn, and I could take care of the second degree myself. But still, constant family support. I have a large extended family, always supporting me, always encouraging me. And that's important. That's so important in our lives. And everyone, they don't have that.
That's true. Everybody don't have that support system. So that's awesome that you actually have that support system, because it keeps you grounded and it keeps you moving forward.
Absolutely.
To completing your goal
Absolutely.
in life. So that's awesome. That's very, very awesome. Now let's talk about the community. I know you say you're very passionate about the community. How important is it for our community to come together to vote? A lot of people are discouraged with the whole voting system, and the judicial system, I should say. What are your plans on bridging that gap with the community and getting them to the polls?
Okay. First of all, don't be discouraged. I know it's discouraging, but we can't, because that's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
If they can discourage us, then we won't vote, and we won't have our voice. Our strongest voice is by voting.
Right.
So please don't be discouraged. We have to continue to vote, because your vote is powerful. We can change the laws. We can change the way things are happening. You can really change the world with the vote.
Yeah.
That's why they're working so diligently to try to suppress it, because
Yeah.
others know how powerful it can be. Right. So I encourage everyone to just hang in there. What you want to do is, and let me do this so I don't forget. There's a runoff from our primary elections. So you have to go out and vote. May 24th is election day, but early voting is May 16th through the 20th. I want to bring that up, and I'll probably say it again at the end. But I want to bring it so you can mark your calendars, because it's in May, in the middle of graduation and Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
A lot is going on, all designed
so distract
you would just be distracted and
discouraged. Yeah.
So please don't fall for that.
Please don't.
Mark your calendars, plan to early vote, and go out and vote. So a lot of things going to be on the ballot. My position, a lot of judges' positions are going to be there, some statewide positions. So you want your voice to be heard. As far as the community and bridging the gap, the judiciary system can work for our community if we have the right people in there. Yeah. It has to be a goal of rehabilitation, helping. And the person in the position has to be open to listen. And that's the thing. People don't listen. Right. And when someone is telling you what's going on, when you're in the justice system and you're dealing, I'll give just one brief example. You're dealing with maybe a domestic violence issue or something like that, or assault issue. Yeah. It's you see it all the time, okay? And sometimes it's easy for other people to judge because you're not in that situation. Right. You don't know, when I first started practicing, I didn't know, that wasn't my life. Right. But when I had an opportunity to actually sit down with some of the people who had been abused, but they were fighting me, they didn't want me to help them, and I tried to find out why. It was because it was affecting their lives. If the abuser was locked up, they didn't have food, they couldn't pay the bills, they couldn't keep a roof over their head. So it was really more devastating to their lives. Right. To have someone locked up than, getting hit or slapped or whatever every now and then. But we can't see that. So that means in the judicial system, we have to look past that and come up with programs and methods to help that person. Yeah. You have to start within, build better relationships, opportunities, job opportunities, things of that nature, so that the person, you can build up from the bottom and build up the family. Right. And then I think you'll stop seeing so much family destruction. Right. And so the people that we have in office have to be open to look for those tools, to work with other organizations, to make these things available for our community. Absolutely. And sometimes you don't get that. They're just shut down. Shut it down. Yeah, you're accused of something, so you must be a bad person. That's not true. Right. It's simply not true. Good people make bad decisions. Bad things can happen to good people. Both ways. So that's what I encourage, to look for somebody that really has the community's well-being at heart, and is open to finding alternative ways to help everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for the election that's in May, can you tell us a little bit who's going to be on the ballots and stuff, like which propositions and all that that's going to be on the ballot?
Well, on our runoff election that's coming up, the one I'm talking about, I don't think we're going to have any propositions. I'll circle back to the proposition.
Okay.
This is going to be your primary election runoff. So the election that happened, was March 1st, those candidates who didn't get over 50% are going to be in a runoff. And then those are going to be the ones that's going to be on the ballot.
Okay.
I think it's going to be maybe between 10 to 12 different races. I'm not sure on that. Don't quote me on the number.
Okay.
But it won't be that long ballot like we saw in March.
Yeah,
it'll be a short ballot. And it'll be a couple of judges' positions, and I don't remember all of the numbers, but it'll be a couple of judges' positions on there and a couple of state representative positions on there as well. So, so the key is, you're going to start at the top, but you got to work your way all the way down to the ballot. That's another thing, another little trick or two that they do. They think, well, if we make it a long ballot or a heavy ballot, they'll get tired and won't vote. You got to go all the way down, all the way down to the very end. Let your voice be heard for every race.
I love that. Let your voice be heard for every race. Absolutely. So tell us about the position that you're running for.
So I am running for the 208 Criminal District Court.
Okay.
This position is countywide.
Okay.
It is a criminal district court, which means this particular court handles the most serious of offenses. Your murder cases, your capture murder cases, your aggravated sexual assault of a child cases, your robbery cases, drug cases too, that kind of stuff. So I'm not talking about your misdemeanor cases. In this court, the ultimate outcome could be a substantial amount of time in TDC. So very serious cases, but of course, the decisions that are made in these courts, they affect the lives of everyone.
Yes, it does.
And so you want someone that will really be open to looking at all of the evidence and making rulings based on the law that'll take care of everybody's situation. Okay, if that makes sense. So the main thing is a balanced approach.
Yeah.
That is my platform, a balanced approach, so the community needs can be addressed. If it's a situation where someone needs help with some type of programming or mental health type assistance, open to that. Mental health is a huge problem in our criminal justice system. And you need people, elected officials, who are open to looking for ways to address that. It really needs to be addressed before you get in the judicial system, which I understand is outside of what I'm running for. But as an elected official, I would be able to reach out to others to encourage that. Because we really need to address that issue. But so my reason for running is just because I've been doing this for over 25 years. And what I've learned is it takes compassion and grace and mercy when you're dealing with people and their lives. And we can't have tunnel vision, but we have to be open. So with all that experience comes that I've learned, and I want to bring that to the judicial system and to the bench.
And that's something that's missing. And she's that missing piece, guys, that we need in the judicial system. So please go out and vote. Please go out and vote. This is Beverly Armstrong. Remember her name, Beverly Armstrong. Beverly Armstrong. Yes, indeed. So let's go back to when you said you was a prosecutor for 16 years. So that was pretty heavy, being a prosecutor for 16 years. Has it ever been like cases that been so heavy on you that it went to bed with you and you had to talk to your husband about it? And how did you overcome that if you was, faced with those different issues?
It can be very stressful because of the types of cases like we discussed that I have handled over the years. And I tell you, it's a couple of things. One thing that I try to do is I try not to bring it home.
Yeah.
It's just important to separate work from home. So I try very hard not to bring it home. And in doing that, a lot of times I don't discuss with my husband or with family the types of cases that I'm handling because I need to step away from it.
Gotcha.
Sometimes even, and I know people might not like to say this, but the reality is sometimes I can't watch the news because I kind of live that. That's my job. A lot of the stuff that they're talking about, I deal with. And so I need the separation. You know, so sometimes, some evenings I don't watch because I've had a rough day or I've had handled a tough case and I need to step away from it a little bit.
That's really heavy.
Yes, because it's heavy. So I do that. And then one thing that we've been dealing with that's coming on in the judicial system and with law enforcement is we've been getting training on something called vicarious drama.
Okay.
Vicarious trauma. Let me make sure I say it right.
Okay.
Which is, I'm not a mental health specialist or anything like that, so I don't know, but it's something that we've been getting training on to make us aware that, you know, when I sit down with someone who's been sexually assaulted, they have to tell me the whole story. Yeah. So it's traumatic for them, and they tell it to me, so it's traumatic for me vicariously. I didn't experience it because they're telling it to me. Okay. And what the studies are showing is that delivery is affecting those who have to hear that. So this is going to be anyone in law enforcement, judges, prosecutors, police officers, anyone who gets that kind of information. And so they try to teach you again how to deal with that, how to separate from that, distance yourself from that and that kind of stuff. And to be honest, I never even considered it. I didn't think about it as being trauma to me, but in these classes that they've been giving us, that's one of the things that they've been talking about. So I just try to separate. I have to tell you, probably the most impact is on my poor kids, because I have 2 kids and they're adults now in their 20s. But you can imagine when you're dealing with these type of cases, especially cases against children. Yeah. The things that I would see. So bless their hearts. They couldn't hardly spend the night anywhere. They couldn't hardly leave the house. Yeah. You know, I was the mom that I wouldn't just drop them off. I would stay at the party and, because it's just, I see so much that a regular person that's not in my profession, they don't see. So you just have a heightened sense of what's going on. And then I would go to training about certain social media tools, and I'd come back and say, give me your phones, take this off, take that off, you can't do this. So they probably believe it really did affect their lives, you know.
But I'm sure they appreciate it now.
I hope so. They've both been very successful. And so hopefully, if they don't appreciate it now, hopefully they will as they get older and start having families.
Gotcha. Now, did your kids follow your footsteps and go into the criminal law?
No, I don't think either one of them seem to have any interest in not just criminal law. They have no interest in the legal field at all. But that's fine.
So they don't even want no parts of it.
No, they say you can handle that, Mom.
Oh, okay. And now, do any family members are in the law field? Do you have any other family members? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't have anyone in my immediate family. I am the first lawyer in my immediate family. Okay. And I have some distant relatives, who are attorneys. We're actually just one uncle who's an attorney. But for the most part, in the immediate family, I am the first. I'm waiting for somebody else to follow along. Yes. So it makes you feel good. I was the first to do engineering, and then afterwards I had a couple of cousins that followed.
Oh, okay. I know you was proud.
I was proud. I'm taking credit for it.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case.
Okay. What is your take on the injustice with the police force? What's your take on all of that going forward if you become a judge?
I think we need to, first of all, I think it's a real thing. And we have to acknowledge that it's a real thing. Okay. But I don't think it's every police officer. Because just like any other profession, you have your good, you have your bad. What we have to do, though, is weed out the bad. Yes. And a way to do that is going to be through education. We have to educate them. They need to get special training. They need to understand about their inherent biases and things of that nature. Yes. That's another thing that's popular now, or that's going on in at least in the legal community, is learning about the bias that you have, the inherent biases that you have. And some people, say, I don't have a bias. Well, it's natural. Most people have some type of bias because you grow up around it. You have to acknowledge it so it doesn't impact your job and how you interact with people. So I am 100% 100% behind training our officers, our leaders, our head of law enforcement on how to train, how to look for people, how to be sensitive to the community and the community needs. And it just encouraged getting out there in the community in a non-legal type environment.
Right.
You know, not with, don't wait till somebody gets
Okay.
doing something wrong to be involved.
Yeah.
You know, you have to interact with the people in your community so that there can be a level of comfort both ways.
Yeah.
But have no mistake. I tell people, like I said, I have young people, and I'm concerned when my young son goes out. I tell him, you know, be careful, don't do this, don't do that. I am concerned. I am very much into law enforcement, but I don't live in. Well, I don't have on red colored glasses, red rose glasses.
Mhm.
I see the reality. The reality
Yeah.
is we have to be prepared and acknowledge that it's a problem, and
Absolutely.
people need to be educated.
Yes, they do.
You
Definitely.
really do. And so I hope that we can find ways to provide that education.
Absolutely, absolutely. Education is the key. Definitely the key. Tell us what's next on your campaign trail.
Oh, well, I'm focused on getting through this runoff.
Okay.
So the main thing right now is I'm going out and I'm knocking on doors, trying to remind people that there is an election coming up and
Okay.
encouraging them to get out and vote. This is the one thing about runoffs is that it's hard to get people to go back out.
Yeah.
So that's
Sure.
kind of the focus is to knock on doors, tell people, have as much interaction, this platform, as much interaction with people to remind them that there is an election coming out. It's important that you go out and vote. You go, your family go, your friends go, everybody go out and vote. May 16th through the 20th is early voting, and May 24th is election day.
All right, there you guys have it. Go out and vote for Beverly Armstrong, 208. What is it? Tell them 208.
208 Criminal District Court.
Because I don't want to stumble and mess it up. I want you guys to hear from her.
Yes, vote strong. Beverly Armstrong.
There we go.
208 Criminal District Court.
Well, thank you so much,
Oh,
Ms.
thank
Beverly,
you
for
so
being
much.
a special guest. I pray that God will continue to bless you and use you in a mighty way. You have all of our support here at the Not So Christian and Me Show. Do you have any final thoughts or any shout outs that you want to make before we end?
But I want to thank you so much
Okay.
for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure being
Yes, it
here.
is.
And just thank you to all my family and friends who are watching. I appreciate your support. And go out and vote. Grab everybody you know, go out and
Yes,
vote. Thank you
yes.
so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. If you guys are interested in being a special guest, please reach out to us on Instagram and Facebook at the Not So Christian and Me Show. Until next time, remember that no matter what you guys are going through, God will always see you through. Stay blessed up. Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much.
You okay?
Yes, you did great.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.